Hi, Redman and Valerie. This is Manny Marino with Do Wood Son out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm going to spend the next few minutes on this YouTube video kind of walking you through the assembly process and just outright talking to you about the chair, my process, the maintenance, I already said the assembly process, but just how to put it together, maintenance, the laser engraving, and of course the maintenance. That's probably the most important thing. So anyway, again, I always make these videos custom to every customer that I make because I mean I could put it in the instructions in a sheet of paper and just send it off, but every chair that I make is very unique, and so there's always something to talk about this chair specifically for the people that I'm making it for. So again, I want to thank you for finding me on Etsy. And the fun part for me is Valerie and Redman is working with my customers on like what you're looking for, the color, the stain, the placement, and then going back and forth to making sure that I get this chair right. So here we go. So this chair is all custom made. The wood is made out of redwood cedar. So this is perfect for outside. Now I know this chair is going to Mississippi. You don't have winters like Minnesota, but it can be outside. It can be in the hot sun. The nice thing about cedar is it can be, like, for example, in the hot sun, and it's never hot to the touch. You can sit in it in the middle of the sun and it'll never ever be hot. So it's kind of cool. Maintenance wise, like I said, it's not only laser engraved, but it's also stained. Actually three colors actually. The base, the arms and the legs and the base is a dark mahogany. The seat and arms is called a cherry stain, and then the back is a transparent cherry stain, but that brings a really light. And of course the acrylic paint, and then the spar urethane, the polyurethane, which I'll talk about in a minute. But anyway, so that's what my chairs are made out of. They can sit outside. In the event that you see winters or ever go to a winter state, make sure you cover it so it's not consistently wet with snow or always wet. I mean, that's what I always recommend. But anyway, so first let me just kind of talk about the engraving. So Poverty Hill, Mississippi is engraved on the front. Engraving in general it never does justice on video or pictures because until you're close, you can actually see like, hey, that's laser engraved. Sometimes it looks like a stencil or it's painted on, but when you see it up close, it's a different level type of woodworking. And then with every chair that I make, I always dedicate it. So this one is to Redman with love. And of course my logo. So it's very subtle. And then on the front, Poverty Hill, Mississippi, laser engraved in the font that you wanted, Valerie. Now let's talk about the fun stuff, man. This is laser engraved. Now I can get super close again until you see it. You'll see what I'm talking about. But it's all laser engraved, and then the rest is filled in with an acrylic outdoor paint, right? And then let it dry, and then I put 3 coats of spar polyurethane. Okay, polyurethane. So it's got a sheen and a shine to it. If it gets wet, rain gets on it, no big deal. Water's going to slide right off, I promise. Okay, so that's what the spar urethane does. It protects it. But, just like with wood and any stain, over time it will fade. And to bring it back, the whole chair back to life, all you need really is like a 220 grit sandpaper. Lightly go over the whole chair and redo it again, right? And the stains that I said, cherry. The dark mahogany is probably good to go forever. And then the acrylic paint, and then the transparent cedar wood for the natural color. And then it's okay. You can technically stain or sand 220 grit over the engraving, right? But then just color fill it again, right? So what you didn't see in the process is I'm painting these, it's actually taped, right? And the laser engrave zaps right through the tape and it acts like a stencil. But now that the stencil is off, of course, then you just got to tape it and kind of bring it back to life if you wish to repaint it. So that is the chair. As I said, cedar wood is the best you can get for making outdoor furniture. I get really good feedback on the pitch of the chair, the slant. So it's an Adirondack style chair, but it doesn't it's not very low, and it doesn't tip you back like a typical Adirondack chair. So it's a little deceiving now because it's on a bench and it's higher, and I'm just standing right in front of it. But I think you'll get really, really good feedback on the chair. So, okay, so now here's the assembly process, and I promise it's super, super easy, okay? So the first thing you're gonna start off with is, well, first of all, the chair will come in 2 boxes, right? The back is one piece, and then the rest of the hardware will be in another, okay? So look for that. The back is the one that's all one piece, that'll go in last. But the first thing you're gonna do is your base, your seat, right? So starting with the 2x6s, you're gonna right and left. Everything on this chair is gonna be marked as you're looking at it from right to left, okay? So underneath, on the bottom of each board, look for the markings and match them up, right? So the seat will be, starting with the Poverty Hill board, will be marked under here, 1 through 7, right? 1 through 7. So start flush with the bottom of this base, and then crawl it and walk it all the way back. All the holes are pre-drilled, right? And I want you to use the same holes, right? That I put these seat slats in. And then when you're screwing these in, and the torque bit will be in there. These are coated torque bit deck screws. So because they're countersunk, just go flush to the top of each board. That's all you got to do. So starting with 1 all the way to number 7, right? In between the right and the left leg, there's going to be a 2x6 spacer. Now, it's held together by 2 screws on each side, countersunk, but when you're putting it together, and now of course I'm taking this apart, so I went flush to the top. Go deep as you can. The bag, the kit, which I'll fill in a minute, will have sawdust, so just fill it in, and then there'll be wood plugs. Go ahead and just fill those in. So anyway, 1 through 7, at the end of number 7, your back spacer goes in to 2x6. There's going to be a 1-inch gap by design because the tail is going to fit right in there. So that's the first thing that you do on a flat surface. Do your seat. First thing is your legs, right? Your front legs. A little bit different because they have this extra arm support. Again, right, left. Now, even though in theory you could mix them up because it's the same one, but because this is custom made, I'm drilling each side one at a time. I don't have a machine. I don't do these like production style. So just match them up right to left. And then in the back legs are a little bit different because they have that little slant. Right, left. And then the lag bolts will always go from outside in. Lag bolts are 3.5 inches, and they goes washer, lock nut, nut. You'll need a 9/16 socket to make these work. It'll make life easy for you. And then one thing to be cautious of, and you're not going to see it in the video, but I'll pencil mark where this should align, right? The thing to be mindful is actually you don't go with this edge, this top edge, you do not go all the way to the top of the back leg, because if you do, this corner is going to bump up the back arm and it'll keep it from being level. But again, look for the markings, use the same hole as much as you can, and that would be fantastic, okay? Let's see. Okay, so then you got your seat, your front legs, back legs. This is the back support brace, right? It's 21 inches, the same size as the back spacer, but it's a 1x4. You can't miss it. It goes straight across. Then the next thing that goes on are your arms. Again, right, left, right? And then these are all countersunk. So on the back, these are the only ones that are not going to get wood plugs, all right? Now, on the top, or excuse me, on the front, on both sides, of course, like I said, they are countersunk, right? If you like this look aesthetically, like having the bolt go flush, then that's fine. Just keep it that way. Otherwise, there's plenty of sawdust and wood plugs. Bury these deep and then fill it in later with the sawdust and wood plugs if you wish. So more if you like it or not. But only the front 2 on the arms on the right and left are going to get wood plugs. The back stays still. And then the next thing and the last thing is going to be, of course, your one-piece back that just slides in, center it, and then you're going to have 1 screw on the tail underneath, right, to keep him from shifting as people sit in it. And then there's going to be 2 on the back that go into the back. Every single screw, torque bit screw that you get is 2 inches, and coated, like I said. That look exactly like this. They won't rust, won't leak. They're the best you can get. This is like really hardy and the best kind of hardware they use on deck. So this is pretty much how you put the chair together. In fact, I'm just going to take the back off a second. I didn't screw that down, but this is what you're after, right? Because once the is just the base is going to look exactly like this. Pretty straightforward. The seat, the front legs, the back legs, the back support brace, the brace that goes in the middle, the 2x6, and then your right and left arms, followed by your back. So this is what your base will look like. Pretty simple. I'm putting it together. I promise it's not going to take you that long, but I think if you just study and watch the video, it'll make sense. So a couple things to be mindful of when you're screwing these in with the torque bit that's going to be in the kit. Just if you're using a drill, I tend to go fast and then bury it super deep and then back it out. And so just be careful, because if you go too deep and then try to back it out to keep it flush, you may splinter the countersink. So that's one tip. Just be mindful, especially the arms, because you don't want to just splinter the wood. And that's it. 9/16 bolts, as I mentioned, for both lag bolts goes always outside in. The front legs are on the outside, back legs are on the inside. Pretty straightforward design, I promise. So again, I've probably repeated myself like 20 times. So I just want to say again, thank you so much for the find on Etsy. It's a pleasure making custom chairs for folks, regardless of what it is. I mean, Minnesota, we don't see too many Mississippi Confederate flag chairs around, but it's just where we live. But again, I want to thank you, Valerie and Redman, for this chair. I'll put a couple of business cards in your kit there. Spread the word, tag me on Facebook, social media, Do Wood Son on Facebook and also on Instagram if you have that. And I'd be more than happy to make more of these for the people you referred to me. So again, I'm very grateful and appreciative of the business and finding me. I will throw this in a YouTube video, send it to you, and then send you the shipping information. And hopefully you get that this weekend. Happy building. Any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am 612-423-1468. And, I'd be more than happy to Skype or Zoom or any of those things to give you a hand. But again, I can't be more happy with this chair. I love new stuff. People always ask me, what's my favorite chair? And I've made hundreds and hundreds of chairs. And my answer is always the ones that I've never made. And so I love a challenge. I've made just about every state. This is my first Mississippi. So thank you. I love it. I love it. I love it. So here you go. I'm going to send this off. Thank you so much, you guys. Bye-bye.